I've been thinking that we really all need a tremendous hug in the world right now.
Yeah.
But in our country, we need you to be Mamala of the country.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Vice President Kamala Harris and her cringe interview with Drew Barrymore on Drew Barrymore's talk show. Now, there's a lot I want to say here, but first things first, before we get to that, let's talk about what's happening with Kamala Harris right now. I think she's campaigning for the president, not to be the president herself, but she's campaigning in place of Joe Biden. Because we all know that Joe Biden is inefficient at doing anything, from running the country to walking in a straight line without tripping and falling. I think we all know he can't really do it. There's no more basement to hide in during the campaign cycle, so they dispatched Kamala Harris to Atlanta, Georgia to speak to the black folks. We'll talk about that in a minute. Going on TV, doing interviews, things of this nature. Now, we all know she can barely put two words together in a coherent sentence, but at least she's better than the 1,000-year-old living fossil we have in the Oval Office right now today. Now, let's check out some things here. I have a lot to show. This is Kamala Harris in ATL in College Park, the area, speaking to hip-hop music mogul Jermaine Dupri. Okay, that's them talking. He put that on his own page. I don't have the sound on. I don't think there's any sound on the original video. But that's what she's doing. Out there talking to people, saying, hey, you know what? Doing things for the black community. I'm trying to get back the black male vote. That's kind of the journey she's on right now. Now, will it work? I'm not really sure. I think a lot of us have had enough of her and Joe Biden and Democrats in general, and we're going to go the other direction. If we're going to vote for Kamala Harris, things like this will not sway us at all. And here you have the guys from On Your Leisure. Again, no sound, but you can see Rashad and I forgot my other name, Bilal. The other guy's name, I think it was Rashad and Bilal. Shout out to them On Your Leisure for having a big platform and having Kamala Harris down there, I think in Atlanta also. Shout out to them for that. But it's unfortunate that it's with Kamala Harris. I have no intentions of voting for her or Joe Biden or anybody on the left at all. So that's kind of what she's doing. She's campaigning. Now, aside from the stops, going to the black community, going to meet with these music guys and everything like that, she also went on Drew Barrymore, who has kind of developed a brand of really cringe-worthy interviews. And this one did not do any disservice to that aforementioned brand. But before we get into it, a word from today's sponsor. As long as we've been alive, the US dollar has been the primary currency. However, that may not be the case for much longer. China is set to dethrone the dollar, and that could happen much sooner than what you think. Many of the world's largest economies are ditching the dollar for the yuan. And if this happens on a widespread scale, you're talking about the US dollar collapse, unprecedented levels of inflation, and market crashes. And if that wasn't scary enough, this could pave the way for the U.S. government to take control and usher in the CBDC, or the central bank digital currency. The upcoming election would just add fuel to the fire. Don't let your life savings become victim to currency wars or failing banks. Now it's time to call the only precious metal dealer I trust, American Hartford Gold. They'll show you how to protect your savings and retirement by diversifying your wealth portfolio into physical gold and silver. They have the finest products, amazing customer service, and a buyback commitment. American Hartford Gold has a 5-star rating from thousands of reviews and an A+ from the Better Business Bureau. American Hartford Gold supports content like mine that is dedicated to bringing you the truth. Tell them I sent you, and they'll give you up to $15,000 of free silver on your first order. So go ahead and call them. Click the link in the description or call 866-392-0390. Again, 866-392-0390, or text Logan to 65532. Again, that's 866-392-0390, or text Logan to 65532. Now, before we get into the Kamala Harris, Drew Barrymore interview, let's go back a little bit to the Oprah Winfrey interview. Now, this was super cringe. Before I press play, look at how you have Drew on the couch with both feet up, knees almost touching her, grabbing her arm. Then there's a random dog. Whose dog is that on the couch? I mean, what is going on here? This is the kind of cringe that Drew Barrymore does. Let's check this out. Then we'll keep on rocking and rolling.
I'm available. I can do it. Something that I learned about you, because I didn't know this detail, was that you would spend time with the audience outside of the show you were filming.
Yeah. Every day.
And one thing.
She's got to be uncomfortable because, first of all, they're holding hands, and then she's literally like rubbing her arm. Now, look, okay, I'm all about having a nice and personable interviewer, making you feel at home, but that's a little bit too much. That's a teensy bit too intimate. Okay, you can be nice and welcoming without having to touch me, rub on my arm. Give me a little bit of space. And whose dog is this? What's going on with this woman and this interview style? And even the Oprah, who, you know, may or may not be a little different, she is kind of uncomfortable. I can see her face. Her body language is like, okay, what am I doing? What's going on? To make Oprah uncomfortable on a talk show is crazy. But that's what's going on with the style of interview from Drew Barrymore. Now, let's keep on going here. Let's watch some of this, because who knows who Kamala Harris is? Is she effective? Is she someone people like? Is putting her out here on the campaign trail going to be effective for Joe Biden at all? Or is more about his policies and things of that nature, things that have not actually worked? Let's check some of this out. Then we get to more of the Drew Barrymore, Kamala Harris interview. Check it out.
Biden took Kamala off ice today, sending her to Atlanta to pitch their economic opportunity tour, which are really just Trump's opportunity zones that they plagiarized.
Yes.
Kamala is telling black voters, re-elect Joe, and we'll pump cash into your neighborhoods. This may actually help with her name recognition, considering the black voters Johnny talks to can't even pick her out of a lineup.
Who's this?
I don't know. Who is that?
I know she's a black woman.
I don't know who that is.
Who the is that?
How's Kamala doing?
Kamala?
Harris, dude. How proud are you of Kamala Harris?
All she does is laugh. What has she done for my community?
Kamala Harris loves her electric buses.
We don't need that, Kamala. She loves a lot of things. She don't love her people.
Democrats know
not very good. Not very good, man. We're getting a lot of people that are just kind of fed up and don't like what she's doing, or they may not know her at all. Now, are all black folks like that? Of course not, but there are some. So my point is, bringing her out there on the campaign trail may not do very well for Joe Biden, but let's continue.
Kamala's a hot mess, but they're stuck with her. They need to get it together. I mean, not a book plug, but they need to. The DNC tested Kamala with focus groups to figure out why she's unlikable. Turns out it's this.
And then I have a follow-up on Afghanistan. Okay.
The lower third here says the cackle could cost her the White House. Hilarious. This is back in 2021.
Think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
Yeah, that cackle is crazy. I mean, imagine being in a Secret Service detail. That's probably why that lady acted the fool and was punching out people, because she kept hearing that cackle and it drove her nuts.
Some people understand what I'm talking about.
That cackle's hard to handle, but Kamala doesn't care. She is leaning into it.
You were asking me earlier about what it means to be like the first woman. And, you know, it's funny because people still got to get used to this, right? I mean, my staff, for example, sometimes they'll show me little things that just amuse me. Like apparently some people love.
Okay, let's pause right here. First of all, here we go with the Drew Barrymore style. All of it, all in your personal space, feet on the couch. This is a little bit too much. All right. But the lower third here says Kamala Harris's most devoted online supporters are called the K-Hive, a phrase inspired by Beyonce's fan group, the Beehive. Now, do you think in reality, real world, do you think that the quote unquote K-Hive exists? And if it does exist, who's in the group? How many of them are there? you probably got you probably got about 10 guys, all men, in the basement that all know each other, and they're part of the K-Hive. And they post on Twitter to 100 different accounts each. That's probably what's going on, but I digress.
I love to talk about the way I laugh.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I love your laugh.
Well, let me just tell you something. I have my mother's laugh. And I grew up around a bunch of women in particular who laughed from the belly. You know, I'm never going to be, that's just, I'm not that person.
See what you did there? Hating Kamala's laugh, sexist. But don't worry, they're hard at work rebranding Kamala for the 19th time.
We all need a mom. I've been thinking that we really all need a tremendous hug in the world right now. But in our country, we need you to be Mamala of the country. We need a great protector.
Joe Biden.
Cringe. Beyond cringe. If cringe was like a product you could consume, you would have that interview right on the front. A screenshot of Kamala Harris and Drew Barrymore on the bottle of Cringe. Put that in Kroger and sell it right now today. It'll fly off like hotcakes. But as I close, I want to say this. Yeah, Kamala Harris, still not likable. If she's likable, if that tide is turned, I can't tell. I still see the same dislike toward her. The time in office has not helped her. What has she done? She's the border czar, and the border's wide open. So it's like, what are you there for? All you really going to do is just go show up, shake hands, kiss babies, and maybe you are liked, maybe you're not. You're good for an Instagram picture or a party at your house, and that's about it. And the president is just as effective, which means not effective. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your take on that Cringe interview with Drew Barrymore, Oprah, Drew Barrymore, and Kamala Harris? How about Kamala Harris going down to Atlanta to try and get the black vote to sell the hijacked opportunity zones from Trump? Is it going to work? Is it not going to work? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. Kamala Harris is pretty much out there as a Biden surrogate campaigning for him because he cannot really do it. Obviously, he couldn't do it last time, and he's gotten worse as far as his mental and physical since he's been in office his past 4 years. So he's not going to be able to do it now either. She's out there doing it for him, and it's off to a cringe-worthy start, to say the least. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.